Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I have got a best of one game and it is between an incredible Zerg and a terrifying Terran. Let's introduce these two players. Spawning up in the top right position of Whirlwind, we've got the red Terran player from Team Evil Geniuses. It's ThorZaIN. And his opponent spawning in the bottom right, the blue Zerg from Team Liquid. It's TLO. So these two are both pretty swish players. I think that's fair to say. They're both top of their game, both GM. TLO and ThorZaIN, both pretty awesome. ThorZaIN, what is he going to be throwing out? Is he just going to be turtling up and spooning away? Is TLO going to be droning like a madman? We'll have to wait and see. Maybe they'll both be super aggressive and blow our minds. I just don't know at the moment. Of course, this is from the TLO replay pack of the week, which is always good to see, because we like replay packs here. Because it gives us content to make, and that's always good to see. And obviously getting a replay pack from like TLO's pretty sweet, because TLO's a pretty cool guy. And I've actually met TLO at the ESED UK Masters, and he is really cool. All of the Liquid people are cool. And yeah, now I'm sounding like a fanboy. I'm sure ThorZaIN's really awesome too. So I just need to make sure that I meet him somewhere. I don't know where, but at an event someday in the future, that would be pretty swish. Now, TLO is going to be going hatch first, because that's what you do against Terran. All the Zerg players know this sweet trick, that's just the way it goes. ThorZaIN is going to be going command center first, because it's Whirlwind, it's a big map, can probably get away with it. This is what I like to call like balls to the wall mode of going command center first. So, like, I could put it up here, where I'd be completely safe from any early aggression, but I'm up against TLO. He's not going to rush me, I'm just going to make it at my natural. So these two probably have an undisputed like no rush 20 minutes agreement in this game. They may not have verbalized it, but it is almost certainly going to be the case. The SCV is going to start scouting. The Overlord already knows where his opponent is, and that means that the SCV can just come straight down because he knows really where TLO is. He's going to have a little peek around. We've got the gas coming down here, so this is all a very normal build. There's the barracks, so nothing to worry about as of yet. Probably going to get a factory follow this up, most likely, because it's just the way you go. And this is all looking good. Nothing too scary, nothing too crazy. The one thing TLO does need to be cautious of, and why he's put this spawning pool all the way up here, he needs to keep an eye of this area, because this area is where medevacs can come just trundling down, drop all the marines, and then come and kill you. And that's never too fun. Overlord placement, there's also need to put overlords over here, just to make sure you're safe from those drops in these spawn positions. TLO also has a bit of a decision to make on his third, because on the one hand, he could take the third, which is closer, but it's also close to his opponent. On the other hand, he can take the third, which is further away, but it's also got this back entrance in, and then you're trying to defend multiple places, and if a drop comes in your main while you're defending your third, it's awkward. Like a turtle on its back. That's how awkward it is when that comes down. But yeah, at the moment, ThorZaIN getting up his second gas, just happily getting SCVs. Overlord chilling over here. We've got the SCV on his way back home, being like, I'm an SCV. I scouted and didn't die. Hip hip hooray. That should be like an achievement, sending a scouting worker out and it not dying, because that so often doesn't happen. Poor scouting workers, they don't know what they're getting themselves in for. They were just told, go for a nice little jog over to the other side of the map, it'll be nice. See the world, go travelling, you'll be like a uni student on their gap year. Except then they die. And that's no fun. It's really not enjoyable. But yeah, here we go. Extractor's coming down now for TLO. He's got his second one up. He's got 100. He hasn't actually yet got 100 gas. What am I on about? But once he's got it, should start zerging speed up fairly soon. ThorZaIN, his factory's coming up. His reactors there. Everything really just going to plan. Nothing that I would expect crazy happening. Probably from that factory, we're just going to see some Hellions come out. Just going to be like poking, prodding, trying to get in there. Ooh, not Hellions, Hellbats. Because there's the armory, there's the starboard. Hellbat drops incoming. Okay, so Hellbat drops are fun for Terran, not so fun for Zerg, because it can kill lots of drones. But the Overlord plays for TLO not too bad. He's got an Overlord here, so he can start picking stuff up fairly soon. Look at this vision. He's got another Overlord back down here. He could do with one in this vicinity. That would be ace, because then you would see it coming down. Because if he doesn't scout this drop coming in, there's going to be a lot of roasted drones. And roasted drones, while they may taste delicious with a little bit of barbecue sauce, it's not what you really want as TLO in this situation. So, Spine Crawlers are coming down, they're just sitting out the front here. We've got the double evolution chamber coming in too, just to create a nice little wall area, just to minimise areas. Hellions could be coming through, but there aren't any Hellions. There's Hellbats, and Hellbats aren't going to be so fun, but in comes the Overlord, sees the starport, doesn't see the armory. Yeah, the armory's up there, remember, but is he going to see those Hellbats pop out? It's probably not going to be able to, but the Overlord is heading towards the armory. Going to die before it gets there, I think, but it could be a little bit close. It's getting ever so close, but it should just die. And, oh no, it doesn't. It scouts, it sees the armory. That was so lucky, literally half a second, and he's able to spot it. That means now the TLO is aware of what's coming down, that the armory's down, starport's down, Hellbat drops are going to be incoming, and here they come. 2 Hellbats on a perilous journey into the main base, but already a Spore Crawler, already Queens, creep spread going across. Zerglings pushing back the Hellions at the front. The Hellbats, oh, the Medevac's been spotted, and this is where the Queen can just start working away. The Medevac coming straight in, 3 Queens there, and boom. 1 Medevac taken down. That was an effective way to deal with it. And let's just talk a little bit about what TLO lost there. 0 workers. Nothing. He has lost pretty much nothing this game so far, just a handful of stuff. 267 resources gone down so far. ThorZaIN though following us up with 2 more gases and his third. The third is up for TLO, he's taking his 5th and 6th gas geyser, but Hellbat drop numero 2 is on its way, and Overlords have spotted it. Zerglings are not on their way over yet. Drones are being transferred. Need to be a little bit careful. Another Overlord is going to see this. Queen's desperately trying to waddle their way closer. The drones have got to be careful. The Queen's slightly out of position. And here they come, dropping down. 1 drone goes down. Only 1 so far, though. A second one could very well die. It's got to be careful. Running very cautiously about, trying to pick off the Medevac first. All drones are all clumping up. That's not what you want to see. More drones are starting to go down now. This drop being far more effective. And he's able to start killing a couple of things. The Medevac does pick up the Medevac does pick up the Hellbats rather, and is able to get out of there. Creep spread coming down at the potential 3rd base of ThorZaIN though, so that's going to delay it just a little bit, which is always good for Zergs. We've got more mech coming down, or at least just a couple of tanks. We've got more Hellbats on their way out. We've got another reactor, another factory. So this is full-on mech play now from ThorZaIN. TLO just needs to identify that and get an appropriate army composition to make it work. Sees the Viking too, which is a bit of a giveaway that it's unlikely just to be pure Medevac pushing out. He's also, from information he's got from scouting, knows that the army is there. Saw 2 factories already, which is usually a pretty big indicator of it's going to be mech. So that's all good. We've got 2 more evolution chambers being built. The previous 2 were cancelled after Hellbat drops came in. But TLO already going up to a hive. This hive was started at 9 minutes 30. Ridiculously early. The 3rd CC is on its way down though to the 3rd base position, and the tanks and Hellbats moving forward. But with the Spire nearly done, we could be seeing Mutalisks out fairly soon, and there's very little anti-air on the field at the moment for TLO, who's just starting his 1-1 upgrades. +1 vehicle weapons is already completed though for TLO, and he is pushing into this 3rd base. He is going to potentially get a lot of drones here. They're all clumping up. The Hellbats are there. How many are going to go down? Lots of drones are getting roasted, and this is a brilliant little push coming in here from ThorZaIN. TLO taking a huge amount of damage. He does have units trying to come in, but drones have gone down everywhere. 16 killed this game so far. The tanks have been cleaned up, but look at the worker count. 58 to 58. ThorZaIN though has mules. Mules really give him an economic advantage now, but Greater Spire already on its way down. The trouble is ThorZaIN, TLO can't actually really sustain that with only 62 workers. He needs to get more out ASAP. He needs to make sure that additional aggression doesn't hurt him too much. Those Hellbats are getting surrounded by the Zerglings, but of course with the +1 they do so much damage. The tanks are there too. The 2nd Hellbat is taken out, but the Zerglings have been taken down too, and that means that this push is still going to keep moving forward. We can see that TLO is busy producing some Zerglings. He's got some Corruptors out, but he's only got 10 Zerglings in production. This 4th base has not luckily been started yet, so ThorZaIN is not going to be able to snipe that off, buying TLO a little bit more time. He's getting down some Corruptors. His Greater Spire is 3/4 done. Some Banelings did get a connection there. A single tank taken out. The other tank only at 20 health. Got to be very, very cautious now. ThorZaIN, he's just slowly putting the pressure on, trying to panic TLO a little bit. But with those with the Greater Spire nearly done, with the Corruptors coming out, Broodlords are just seconds away. 2 Vikings are on the field, 2 more on the way out, plus Thors in production. Anti-air is really racking it up. We've got more Hellbats on their way across the map. Zerglings heading towards this 3rd base. Will they be able to deal enough damage? Well, that's the question. They come in, but then pull straight back out again because the push is coming in the center. Zerglings have already died there. TLO, he is really struggling to hold off this aggression for the time being, but he's got to hold. If he can hold long enough to get these Broodlords out, he's actually actually in an okay spot, because the Broodlords are going to be able to do so much damage and deal with this mech force well. The Queen's coming forward, Transfuses trying to go down, but not enough energy for any more. Zerglings desperate to pick off the tanks, more Zerglings on their way forward, the Hellbats getting focused down, and this is TLO holding off for the time being. But look at this. Already a fourth on its way for ThorZaIN. He's securing his fourth base before TLO has even started here. Getting a base up as a Terran player is always good. The Corruptors and Queens trying to work down on these Vikings, because if they keep the anti-air low, the Broodlords can be so much more effective. And TLO, he's got to try and do something to stop ThorZaIN getting in such a comfortable spot. ThorZaIN has been ahead in workers, he's now ahead in bases, and his upgrades are ahead too, or they're equal, which actually for Terran with mech getting equal upgrades, I would personally say is a bit of an advantage there. But the Broodlords are on the field, remember. The double Hellbat drop is coming in towards the third, though. There's a single Spore Crawler, 2 Spines coming down, but how many drones can get taken out by 4 Hellbats? The answer? A lot, if they're controlled well. So can ThorZaIN make this work? He's ready to boost in. Here we go. In come the Medevacs. In come the Hellbats, and drones are starting to get roasted. Needs to get back out of there, though. Needs to make sure that he keeps up as much as possible. All 4 Hellbats are now alive. They're just hugging straight around that Spine Crawler. A pickup, though, very quickly. Queen's trying to get in here. Meanwhile, the 4th base of ThorZaIN is getting denied. A couple of SCVs chucked into the command center. The Zerglings picking off a few others. If we look at the number of workers killed, 26 drones have gone down. ThorZaIN is still ahead, 66 to 56 workers, plus the mules. That's a big advantage for him. The Broodlords, though, they're just still sitting in a defensive position. The trouble that TLO has is he can't afford to get too many more out. His money is not looking too solid. He still hasn't secured a 4th base, and this mech force of ThorZaIN is getting larger. ThorZaIN does already have about a 30 supply advantage, which is really quite sizable, but this 3rd base is undefended for the moment. These Speedlings could go in. TLO needs to run in, needs to start trying to do some damage to these SCVs. It's going to start picking them apart. The mech army very slow, very immobile, and so allows for this really Speedling heavy aggression to be very effective. Quite a few more SCVs are starting to go down. 15 now killed by the Zerg player, but he's got to keep up this aggression. He's got to keep ThorZaIN back, allowing him to get out more Ultralisks, allowing him to try and get out more Broodlords and get more upgrades. If he can do that in time, then perhaps he can make this work. One or a couple of lone Zerglings are still just being allowed to chip away at everything that they please. In total, 19 workers have now been taken out. That puts TLO slightly ahead in terms of the worker count, but mule cooldowns are being used at this 4th base. That is a lot of mules straight away. 6 cooldown all at the same time. That is pretty effective. Hellbats are on the way back. That Medevac with 4 health. Yeah, things not looking too good for TLO, but he's not out of this game yet. He is still in an economically okay spot. The big thing that he needs more than anything, though, is to get a 4th really fast, because all while ThorZaIN has 4 bases up against TLO's 3s, then the longer the game goes on, the better it gets for ThorZaIN. He's just going to be able to outproduce his opponent. But one big bad engagement with mech means that you can lose a lot of your force, and if the Zerg player does have a bank there, or keeps up the majority of his army, he can push through and put on a lot of pain. The strength in mech is when it gets up into the higher supply, but that's really where it's starting to get now. 157 supply for ThorZaIN, up to 165 of TLO. TLO's trying to get up more Ultralisks. He's already got 7 here, with 4 Broodlords supporting them too. This is quite a sizable force of TLO, who's just committing only to like tier 3 tech at the moment, and that actually is an army pretty strong with a good number of Queens. The Transfuses can be incredibly potent, especially on those Ultras, which do have, or soon will have, the 2-2 upgrades and chitinous plating, meaning they can already take a good beating. But the Broodlords, they've got to come with the army as well. Where are the Broodlords? They're still just sitting back. What TLO needs to do is he needs to start bringing them. He's waiting until he maxes out. There's a scan going off at the moment. More Medevacs coming in. Oh my goodness. 4 Medevacs filled with Hellbats are on their way forward. This drop could be devastating to the 3rd base, and remember the TLO doesn't have a 4th. So if he loses this, he could be in some big problems. But yeah, 8 Hellbats, they can deal a lot of damage. ThorZaIN just waiting for the moment, though. Not going in quite yet. We can see that in the center of the map we've got a good number of Corruptors, a good number of Ultras. Where are the Broodlords? They're slowly making their way forward. At the same time, though, that is a lot of Vikings. A good number of Vikings up against those Corruptors and Broodlords. I believe the Vikings will win the fight 15, but the Ultras are just so high in number that I think they can just overwhelm this force. There's only 3 tanks there and 6 Thors. It could be tough, but here comes in the 8 Hellbats. Just flamethrowers everywhere. All of the drones are going down, but TLO, he doesn't care. He's pushing in. He's getting this around with the Ultralist. The Transfuses are coming down like a complete boss, and this is where he crushes through the mech force. This is a big engagement. The Queens are there ready to start trying to deal with with the Vikings. The Broodlords need to be careful at the same time, though. The 4 medevacs are making their way forward into the natural base. Already 50 workers killed, but TLO, he is going for the kill himself. He's got the Zerglings in here. He has got so many Ultralisks. He's pushing forward. We can see lots of the SCVs are going down. The 3rd base forced to evacuate. The 4th is still up and running. At the same time, Hellbats in the natural base are starting to take a bit of fire, and only 1 medevac does remain. TLO, though, he's breached into the main base, and he has just got so much coming out. There are some Banshees in production, just hoping to try and deal with this, but the production of ThorZaIN is getting torn apart. All of his production facilities dying. All of his bases are taking a lot of fire. The Vikings even landing, trying to deal with this. The Broodlords are still alive. They're moving in now. The Vikings have landed, but have got to be cautious still. The Queens making their very slow creep up, ready to start transfusing on these Ultras. The Vikings learned nothing from the Heart of the Swarm Vengeance trailer about landing in front of an Ultralist, but the Thors are back out. The transfuses need to get going down, and if they can, it can all go very well, but ThorZaIN knows he's not going to be able to hold it, and therefore GG's out. But what a game! TLO holding off that early aggression and making just a nightmare force of Ultras and Broodlords and Corruptors and Queens. So that was a thoroughly fun game. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow with yet another new cast, so make sure you tune in then. Thanks you very much for watching. I'm Madals. Bye for now.